Hello, thriving friends. Welcome to another week, another beautiful week. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. I hope you can hear me. Let me make sure I'm not on mute. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I can be heard. I'm trying to get as close to the mic as possible at the same time, not knocking it down. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? Hanging in there. All right, I appreciate you joining today. It's a beautiful day. My name is Dr. Grace Kakari, but I go by Dr. G. I am a success and wellness advocate. I talk about everything success and holistic wellness. It's always good to see you. It's always beautiful to have you with me. This week, we are ending our financial literacy series. So, the last one we'll be talking about is how to borrow and spend smart. So, I hope you are ready for this. As you get in the room, please go ahead and share the link with your friends, your loved ones. Let them know that we are live. Let them know that everything is working okay here. We are learning and we don't want to leave them out. We want them to join us. So, go ahead and share. I will get started right away. So, welcome once again. We are streaming on multiple platforms. You could be watching us from Facebook. You could be watching us from Facebook. We're on multiple pages. You could be watching from LinkedIn, and that will be my personal page, Grace Kakari. You could be watching us from YouTube, Thriving Generation with Dr. G, or you could be watching us from Twitter, which will also be my name at Thrive with Dr. G. But wherever you are watching us from, please welcome in the room. Go ahead and share the link with everybody. They should all join us. We are all learning together. So, actually, May is a mental health awareness month, and we should be dedicating the month of May to mental health. We started off, this week finishing up the financial literacy, but as soon as we are done, we get straight into the mental health series. So you don't want to miss this. I hope you are taking care of yourself, and I hope you are ready to join us and to learn with us. So let's see. It's everything. Yeah, it's working from here. Yeah. So happy Mental Health Awareness Month. We'll be learning how we'll take care of ourselves. I'm ready to take care of myself. I hope you are too. So we'll learn some tips, some resources that can help us thrive um, throughout the month of May and then beyond. So, straight into why we are here. We are here to talk about financial literacy, and we should know that today there are more options than ever to get started with investment. It looks like we really, really do not have much or any, if at all, reason not to be invested, not to be growing our money. Okay. We've learned throughout the 6 weeks that there are several options, and we've had people join us, share resources with us. We've seen people's stories in the real world where they started from nothing and they've been able to grow to something. Okay. You and I do not have any excuse. Wherever we are, all around the world, we should be able to invest. We should be able to grow our money. But sometimes there is another aspect of this whole dynamic that we need to talk about. And then this is something I wanted to bring to your attention. 43% of millennials do not have any investment account. With the technology we have, with all the investment opportunities we have, now you don't even need a computer. Your phone alone can do miracles. You can find so many resources. You can find apps that can help you learn and apps that can help you invest without necessarily paying to a third party to help you invest. So if millennials, almost half of us do not have investment account, that is a problem. If you don't see that as a problem, I see that as a problem. So I hope, and I really, really, really hope that you are taking some of these lessons seriously and you're ready to do something about your finances. Okay. So moving on. Today's topic is how to borrow and and spend smart. So smart borrowing, smart spending. Hi, thank you for joining, Isaac. Thank you, Thriving Friends, wherever you are joining us from. I'm not using my usual laptop, so I'm not able to share the link, but I hope you're able to find the link on your own and join us. I cracked my laptop screen. Don't say it loud. So I'm using a borrowed laptop. I don't have any of my regular stuff on to share. So that's that. Anyway, so how to borrow and spend smart. Sometimes when we think of borrowing, this is what comes to mind. I'm afraid of owing. I don't want to owe anybody money. I feel like you should have your own money to spend, and you shouldn't be in chains. You shouldn't be in bondage, right? This is what I am thinking when I'm thinking of owning or owing somebody. But it's not always bad, right? It's not always a problem to borrow from here, borrow from there. That is where we come to good or smart borrowing, okay? So what are some of the tips that we can learn in terms of borrowing smart? Indeed, people borrow for different reasons. I'm not going to sit here and say that. Make sure you never ever get money from anybody. But people would like to get access to resources, right? To invest in their businesses, right? If you have a great idea, you have an awesome idea, you know that this is a realistic idea. You believe in this idea, it's in your heart, it's in your mind, you are ready for it, but you don't have money to invest in it. Maybe that will be the direction to go. Sometimes you don't have ready investors either. You don't have people who want to invest in it and be co-partners. That is okay. You can borrow. So borrowing is not always bad, right? And also sometimes people would like flexible options and longer payment options too. Like I own one organization money, but it's due very soon. I would like to borrow from another organization so that I'll put it there and take my time to pay that one. There are different reasons why people will borrow. In America, for instance, healthcare is very, very expensive. And sometimes families find themselves in situations where they need to pay their bills. They need to get out there and get the help they need, right? Like medical help, right? So sometimes that will also bring debt in the family. And then finally, we can also think about mortgages, right? You have the option to get a house, the bank will pay the house for you, and then you take your time and pay it over a period of time. That is a great option if you have a regular job, you know that you have income coming in. You don't have the bulk money right now to invest in the business, but you know that over time you will be able to pay. Going for a mortgage is not always a bad thing, all right? So that we should like clear all those stereotypes or all those fear, like I did say in the beginning, sometimes thinking of it as chains or bad. We just have to know how to use the money, how to borrow the money, and how to spend the money. So basically, that is what it is. So I'll go ahead and share with you some tips that I found. And there are so many tips out there. I am focusing on two main areas. Okay. I'm focusing on two main areas because those areas put so many people in debt. So many people in debt. And being professionals, you and I may, not all of us though, but some of us may find ourselves in that category as well. So, as of 2022, just last year, 43.5 million Americans have federal students loan. Okay, and that is about 13% of the general population. That is significant. People are owing money. I don't know why I keep saying owning. I think I have to have money. That's why I'm saying owning. I have to own money. But in this case, they are owing. They owe money to the government of America. And this is just the federal government, federal loan. But there are so many other private loans out there that people borrow in order to get to school. Are we saying that we shouldn't go to school? That is not the case. Going to school is fantastic, helping you develop your skills, your knowledge to be able to, get a better job, better income, better resources, take care of your family, whatever your options are out there. But we could be smart about that, okay? Why do people borrow for school? First of all, maybe to pay for the tuition, okay? Which school are you going to and how much is the tuition? That is something that we seriously have to consider. So the first point I have out there is borrow realistically. Why should you borrow realistically? Really, people follow friends. Maybe some of us are already past that college stage and this will not be a problem for us, but everybody's going to Harvard. You want to also go to Harvard. But the tuition in Harvard is different from if you went to your home state. Okay, or your friends are going to private universities, or you've heard that business school in a private university is perfect or awesome. Everybody, sometimes that's what we say, right? Everybody is doing it, everybody is going there, everybody, but the everybody may be two people or the three people we know in our lives. That is not always true. So I want to just encourage you to research, take your time and research your expected income in the future, right? And then think about how affordable the school you are choosing it, and then borrow realistically. Instead of going for maybe 100,000, then you will take maybe 20 years or more to pay. How about you go for the 50,000? That will give you the same degree, higher degree, accredited degree, or certificate. Some of us are not even doing degrees anymore. We are just upgrading ourselves. So we are going for the MBA, or we are even just going for certificates. That is okay. But just be realistic. Don't just register for an online program you know nothing about, and then at the end of the day it's not accredited. You can't even use the certificate for anything. That is money wasted, but that money has to be paid, right? And then research your job and pay. Why are you getting that certificate? You have to be smart about that. What can that offer you? How much more is going to come into your life? Or are you going to start your own thing? Is that realistic? Should you go for the money? Should you not go for the money? That is something you should think about too. And then research all funding availability. Sometimes it's much easier to go for the loan because we know the bank is there, or we know that somebody, a rich person, is there and is going to give you the money. But it may make sense to just take your time and see if you qualify for some kind of scholarship, or if you qualify to you qualify. Sorry, I just realized that my audio, oh, it's working. Sorry. I think it's working. I just saw a message and I thought my audio wasn't working, but I think it's working fine from here. If you still can't hear me, message me. I'll check that out. All right. So sometimes it's much better to just be in your lane. I think that's a perfect way to say it. Just stay in your lane. Do what works for you, and not compare yourself to others. And then understand the loans conditions, out there. It's nice to see the statistics. Oh, we approve 50% of all loans, 80% of all loans, 90% of all loans. But why are they approving? How many years are they giving to you to pay? What are the conditions? Can you pay sooner? If you get a breakthrough and you have some bunch of money somewhere, can you just invest it into this loan, pay it off, and move on without paying a penalty? Some of these loans, they kind of lock you. Okay, they lock you in such a way that you cannot pay ahead of time. You have to stay within the terms of the loan. So if the term of the loan said you'll be paying $200 a month, they just want you to stay with $200 a month and not go beyond $200 a month. So it's like it's a trap. You are trapped within this. It may favor you if you don't want to pay more, you just want to pay the minimum payment. That's fine. But sometimes you have to read all these, okay? You don't want to get to the point where they are taking your house away from you. You don't want to get to the point where the things you thought your children will inherit are no longer going to inherit because of some loan B you took like a long time ago. All these you have to think about, okay? Let's also talk about personal loans. When we take loans from people for our personal use, really, 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 the most advice I can ever give you is that no matter the relationship you have with a person, make sure it is written. Make sure it is documented somewhere. The last thing you want, okay, in your life is, oh, you said this, and you also said this. No, 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 you told me this. Oh, no, but you said this. And then there is no evidence anywhere to support you. So this one doesn't mean you don't trust people. No, it's just to protect you and the person. So if you are going for a verbal loan with a loved one, with a friend, make sure it is written. Okay. Hi, Uncle Sam. Thank you so much for joining us. And I see some friends on Facebook, but I can't log in with this laptop. So I'm sorry, my friends. Um, I think it would be nice if you can post your questions into, I don't know which platform. Uncle Sam is using YouTube or LinkedIn. Those ones I will see on this computer. If not, I have to answer the questions after the live session. My apologies, okay? I don't have a computer. All right, all right, all right, friends. So the other thing that I have come to respect so much has been credit cards. Credit card debt is also huge in America. And we are talking about billions and billions and billions of dollars. As you can see, 986 billion as of 2022. So many people are in debt. And most of the time, it is credit card debt. See, the most I have seen when it comes to consumer debt, like credit card debt, the annual percentage interest has been the least I have seen. The least I have seen from my experience has been 13%, right? 13%. But most of them are within the 20s, 1999, 1799, 25, depending on your credit score. Can you imagine that you are borrowing this money, okay, to buy to take your friends for dinner, or to buy a fancy clothes for a fancy program, to look great or whatever, and then you are paying as much as 20% on however much you borrowed? I mean, how long is it going to take to pay that? Does that make sense? Is that smart? So we are thinking about smart borrowing. I'm not saying don't borrow, but why would you and when would you? Okay, you don't want to find yourself in these categories. You don't want to find yourself in these statistics, because remember, we are creating wealth, and we don't create wealth by owing people. Hey, today be today. We don't create wealth by owing people. We have to find ways of creating our own legacy, saving our money, investing our money, growing our money, getting to the point where we are comfortable. Okay. Credit cards are fantastic. In America, you need credit scores. If you want to buy a car in the future, if you want to buy a house in the future and don't have the ready cash, these things are fantastic. They'll look at how often you borrow and how often you pay back, and then they'll be able to say, okay, we will approve you for this much credit. Go and get the house, go and get the business, go and get this. So you need it. You do need it in America, unless you have physical cash to spend all the time. Then you probably don't need credit for anything. But if you need credit, then it means that you have to have a credit card. My advice is that get it, spend it, pay back. That means that if you pay, don't get it. But here's the trick. Okay, it's a trick, but not so much of a trick. I do have credit cards, but I love 0% annual in what is that called? 0% annual pay credit card. So the credit cards that they don't charge anything at the end of the month, those are great. If you have those options, go for that, because you don't want to be paying so much on your credit card. Okay. So if they are not charging anything on it, it's great. So that when you spend, you pay, you spend, you pay, and then you don't have to also pay extra for just having the card. Sometimes those who have businesses or those who need bigger credit line for different purposes may go for credit cards that you have to pay annual fees. That is fine. We are talking about smart borrowing. If it works for your purpose, if it works for your business, if it works for whatever you need it for, go for it. If it doesn't, if you don't see yourself earning from it, if you don't see yourself benefiting from it, please stay away from it. The fact that it's being advertised, the fact that people have it doesn't mean we should go for it. That is not smart. So, what will be some of the tips for maximizing our finances while minimizing our credit card debt? The first thing is to track your income, right? Your money coming in, your revenue coming in. If you have a business, how much do you get in every year, every month, every week, every other week? Okay, if you take that money, can you pay off all your debt? If not, then you don't necessarily have to be accruing more debt. All right. So we talked about budgeting, I think a week or two ago. Please itemize the things that you are spending on, itemize all your expenses, itemize all your debt, all the things you have to pay. Remember, one of the recommendations I gave you also work here. Take advantage of auto payment. Okay. Make sure you have electronic payment set up. Let them just take out the debt. Let them just take out whatever you owe, so that you know that you've paid all that you have to pay. And the little left, you live on it. Remember the question we had last week: what if I have so much to do and what I am earning is not enough to take care of my entire family? Well, that is when you consider multiple sources of income, maybe another source of income. Add on another income. Make sure you are earning money to support yourself and your family. And then you have to seek opportunities. You do have to seek opportunities to be smart. Okay. Don't just settle because you have a credit card that gives you extra 5,000, 10,000, $15,000. Don't settle. Look for ways where you can move beyond the credit. Look for ways where that 15,000 will be money in your bank. Okay. Look for smart ways to spend your money. So I saw this quote from, let me show you, Sir Richard Branson. I think some of us may know him from Virgin Airlines. Some of us may know him from appearing on Shark Tank sometimes. And he has a lot of businesses. I don't know all of the businesses, but I do also remember him from competing with who was he competing with? Jeff, was it Jeff Bezos? About going to space. Anyway, but business opportunities are like buses. There is always another one coming. So that is something I want to encourage you with today as we wrap up. Don't always dwell on the opportunities you've missed. Don't dwell on the things you couldn't do. I'm sure somebody may be thinking, wow, look at all the debts I have. Had I known, why did I do that? It's okay. We have to start from wherever we are and improve on it. Smart borrowing, smart spending. Maybe we haven't been so smart with the borrowing aspect, so we are in the part where we have much to pay. Let's come up with a plan. How can I pay off this? How can I clean myself off? How can I get to the point where I am secured financially? Remember what I said the last time? I'm really passionate about this. If you're not going to leave any properties for your family, if oh today I have my phone closer, the alarm is on, it's 8 o'clock. If you're not going to leave any properties for your family, if you're not going to leave any inheritance for your children, please don't leave them debt. For that, I am really passionate about. I don't think anybody should leave debt for people to pay. When you have credit card debt and the Lord calls you and you go to heaven, the people you left behind would have to pay. Your beneficiaries, for whatever reason, will have to pay. If not, whatever money you had in your account, they'll try to pull those to pay for these debts. So please don't do this to anybody. All right. So at every point in time, desire to be at zero. And the idea is that even if I don't have the investment yet, I shouldn't be owing anybody. Unless it is investment into a business, that means that even if the business should be liquidified, it can pay off your loan and you may have some left over. Let us be smart. We are going to build generational wealth. It doesn't come easily, it is over time. We have to work towards it. We have to invest towards it. We have to pray towards it. We have to do the work, the actual work, including reducing our spending, including investing in multiple opportunities. We have to do that to see the results. Wherever you are today, make the decision to make the improvement. Don't wait for tomorrow. You don't know what will be there tomorrow. Hey, I've seen so many obituaries on Facebook in the past few months, 34, 40 years old, 45, 30, even 20s. And you wonder, where are they going? You should wait till you are in your 80s, 90s before we say goodbye and then we do celebration of life. But I guess we don't have the option to choose. We don't get to decide when we want to go and when we want to stay. So while we are here, life is not all about money. No, that would be a lie. Life is not all about money. However, if you are spending, then you should be ready to pay it off. If you have responsibility, you've gone to take somebody's daughter and you've called your wife and or your husband, like you've committed to a partner and you have children or you don't even have children yet. That is a responsibility that you cannot take for granted. So, thriving friends, we have a long way to go, but we'll get there. We have to work it out to get there. Okay, we have to work it out to get there. And this week, I am super, super excited as we are ending our financial literacy series. It doesn't mean we are not never going to learn again, but it means that it is time to put into practice what you've learned. We've talked about life insurance, we've talked about wills, we've talked about trust, we've talked about investment opportunities, different types of investments. 6 weeks of content. I would love to encourage you, my friends, to do something. The next time we return to financial wellness, we'll be building on what we have. The foundation will be great. We would have done something. So if you don't have a will, this is probably the time. Get out there and look into creating a will, right? I'm talking to you and I'm talking to myself too. I'm not going to, point fingers at anybody, but if we are thriving together and we are learning together, let's be practical. All right, thriving friends, thank you so much for joining this week. We are wrapping up our financial literacy series. Again, my apologies. I can't log into Facebook on the screen. Well, I can use my phone. Let me try and see. I cannot do it on my phone, but on my computer, but I do have my phone here. I can check to see if there is any question. The screen is too small. I can't get to the multiple screens, but that's okay. I will just answer any question offline. Hopefully I'm not missing anyone. But if you're on LinkedIn or Facebook, you can just type your questions and I'll see it. And then today we are wrapping up a little early. 6 weeks of financial literacy content. What are you going to do? What are you going to do about your finances? How are you going to use the information? 1 year will come in no time. 2 years will be here. Can you imagine? We just started 2023 and we're already in May. We are already in May. Very soon, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And then we'll go like, oh no, I should have. I should have. We don't want that to be our story. We want to get to December and say that, wow, we did it. We started and this is the result, right? So, my friends, I wish you all the very best this week. Again, happy mental health awareness month. From next week, we will start talking about our health and our well-being. We'll start looking at ways that we'll take care of ourselves. Stress is real, depression is real, anxiety is real. How do we take care of ourselves? We'll do that. In the meantime, I wish you all the very, very best. I want to encourage you once again to take your finances seriously, take the knowledge and put it into practice. I know we can make it. I know we can make the improvements needed, but we have to do something. You have to do something. I have to do something. Thank you once again for joining. Like the video, share, let others know what we are learning about, and let them learn too. I wish you the very best once again. Be well. I'll see you next week.